So we're here today at the Google facility, the Google campus in Tel Aviv at I'm sorry, let me do this again. So we're here today at Google Tel Aviv, at the Tel Aviv campus, at the Brainy Hack event. And what are we looking at?
So, what you're looking at is a product called Inobio. It's a device for wirelessly recording brain activity, transmitting it to a laptop or a tablet, and then from there you can basically do whatever you want with the signal. And what we're doing here at the Brainy Hack is providing the device to the hackers so they can come up with some new ideas. We typically work in medical applications, and what we're hoping is that people can come up with a compelling application that will drive people to use a brain-computer interface, give us access to their EEG, and in that way we'll create a database, a larger database of EEG that we can then use for medical applications.
Okay, when you just said brain-computer interface, is that a term of art or is that your own term?
No, that's a term of art, that's what they're called. So there's a body of research on brain-computer interfaces. Traditionally it's been about using brainwaves for control, so you can think of it as replacing the user interface. You can use it instead of a keyboard, instead of a mouse, instead of a joystick. So people have used it, for example, to control wheelchairs for people that are quadriplegic, people with ALS, people who have no muscle control anymore. People use it for spellers to communicate. Stephen Hawking is working with a company right now along these lines where he's going to help them develop a device for people like him with ALS that he can use to communicate. Right now he uses some muscle control he still has remaining in his jaw, I think, to control the joystick. He's going to lose this pretty soon because that's the way ALS works. So he's looking for alternatives when all he has left are his brainwaves. So you can learn to control your brainwaves, you can use that to interface with software, and then that software can control a speller or a wheelchair or whatever it happens to be. What we're looking for today though is people to kind of think outside that box of direct control and think of other ways you might use brainwaves to interact with the environment. People are looking at musical applications, emotional applications. Some of these guys are looking at learning applications to try and understand when people are in a good frame of mind to learn, or when they're learning well, or when they're learning badly, this type of thing.
So how do developers approach you?
Right now we mainly sell to research teams. So we're in contact with a lot of research groups at universities, at hospitals, and these are the guys developing the medical applications. So we kind of use this type of event to kind of get in touch with other types of users, like hackers developing applications for whatever.
So you have two products, Inobio and then StarStim.
So Inobio is for reading the brain, basically reading brainwaves. StarStim can read brainwaves, but also can modulate brain activity, so it can inject tiny currents into the brain. And this is what's called neuromodulation. And with this you can affect how the brain works. Lots of potential applications for this, very early days, but there's research groups, for example, working on post-stroke rehab. You stimulate the brain over the lesion, and this promotes recovery. So while you're doing the physical rehabilitation, you also stimulate, it accelerates the process. There are people looking at stimulation for depression. We've had some interesting results. There are people working on cognitive enhancement even, stimulation for cognitive enhancement. A group in Oxford have had some results on mathematical ability after stimulation. So there's a lot of interesting applications around that area.
And what is it you're finding about Israel?
I kind of came out of curiosity because I've heard a lot about it. Uri, my colleague, is from Israel. He talks a lot about the startup community here.
Right.
I met Hamutal at Singularity University back in March, and we were kind of talking about the idea of maybe doing a neuro hackathon. It just kind of came from that. So curiosity, just to kind of meet the people here and see what's going on in Israel.
Thank you.